Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Midlife Real Life, and I have with me some guests who are going to be so welcome today. So apart from our regular panelists, we've got Jo. Hi Jo.
Hello.
And we have Maggie.
Hi everybody.
Hi.
And we have Tony and Jason from Smith and Cullen Hairdressers, actually my hairdressers.
Hiya.
And they are the people I have missed most during lockdown, which I know is a common concern of most of our readers, certainly on Fab After 50 and all the people on social media, is when can they see their hairdressers again?
Oh.
So we are so thrilled to have you.
Oh, bless you. Well, we at the moment, the
4th.
The 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, we're planning to open our salon straight away the very next morning.
So the 5th.
We've done a lot of planning with our clients as well. We're constantly rescheduling them.
Yeah, and updating them and keeping them posted on what is actually happening.
Because then they all feel special, because obviously this is now the 3rd date where it's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was even
I think I've missed 2 appointments with you, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you,
and it's 8 weeks in, and the next time that we'll do it, it'll actually be 4 months. It'll be 4 months in total for everyone. So I think that's the reason why people are so desperate to see their hairdressers.
I mean, I think we'll probably talk about this later, but I think it'll be interesting because, you know, in addition to kind of cutting, I think it's going to be a little bit of repair work. It's going to be...
Of course.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So I think that's been great fun for clients while they're on lockdown, and it's going to be great fun for us afterwards, I think, as well.
Right. So then, what is the best thing? You're the experts. What is the best thing that we can all do for ourselves at home with our hair during lockdown? Although we're a long way into it now, I know.
Well, the best thing I think you could do for lockdown is just keep on putting loads of conditioning treatments on your hair and really look after your hair. If your hair's long, if your hair is long, use a nice long hair soft brush, but also use a leave-in conditioner and a nice moisturising conditioner as well.
I think the best thing I've been recommending people to do during lockdown is actually try and wash their hair far less.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, we're all wrapped up in that rat race, washing our hair every day.
Keeping it clean.
To style it, really.
Yeah.
And actually, there's so many more possibilities around nowadays. But I think washing your hair far less, even I'm trying to even get some of my ladies, if their hair's longer, to see if they can start with no more than twice a week. Yeah. And actually try and get down to almost once a week.
Boys, can I tell you something? I haven't admit to people that I have my hair cut every 6 to 8 weeks and I have it blown dry once a week. And I don't wash it in between. And I'm slightly embarrassed to tell people.
No, there's a whole current wave on how to do it correctly.
Yes.
But I must say, if your hair hasn't been cut for 6 weeks, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a grand.
And maybe it's a great time.
What about mine?
You're looking gorgeous too.
Yours is gorgeous.
We won't even talk about mine.
The whole
I've
thing,
got about
I think,
6 strands. I'm world renowned for only having about 6 strands. And
well, actually, one of the things I was going to say to people to actually experiment with while they're trying to wash their hair less is dry shampoo.
Yes.
And actually, dry shampoo on finer hair is phenomenal for giving texture.
Oh.
Really, it gives you that boho, tumbly. And it's great on short hair as well.
And it also gives you a bit of rootness as well.
Yeah. Well, and you know, just for 2 examples, to range top and bottom, the good old-fashioned oldest one is only about £3 a can. And you can get it in any supermarket.
Yeah, or you can get the product that we use, which is Balmain. I have dry shampoo, which is really, really good.
The thing I like with the Balmain dry shampoo is it actually makes your head really cool when you spray it on. So it's quite nice because it has been really hot as well. I tend to buy that when I'm on holiday because it does cost a bit more. It's nearer the £23 mark. But it lasts forever.
I was going to say, how long would that last if you spent £23?
Well, I probably
say good 6 months.
Yeah,
all right.
Long. I only do a little blast and just freshens it up and gives a bit of texture. You don't need too much, and then you don't get that old-fashioned chalky effect that they used to have.
Yeah, they're not cloggy anymore.
Long way.
You know, that's really interesting that you said that, because what I tend to do when I'm trying to get a bit of lift, which obviously I've not succeeded at today, is I will then put in some sort of texturizing gel or something, which actually makes my hair greasy.
Yeah, it does.
A bit of dry shampoo.
Then, of course, as well, the more product you're actually using, the more you are going to want to wash it as well. So it's trying to get
let's
less
get
of
on
that.
to colouring. Let's get on to colouring, because we've all got about 2 inches.
Bless.
I saw this poor woman walking in Marks and Spencer's the other day, and she was just completely white, and then big black roots, and I thought,
oh, bless. Well, again, I have been trying to encourage some clients to try and rock the Debbie Harry look.
Yeah, to go with their roots.
For it. But some, you know, but like you say, some people really are wanting to do it. So instead of being hairdressers that kind of go, oh, you mustn't colour your hair, it's 4 months, so you're going to have to colour your hair. So we've tried to make it more of an upbeat thing for our clients. So we've made
the stuff that you buy in the shops works then.
Yeah,
it does work.
Ones.
Like, it's not the same quality of product, but it still works. And as long as they're
but
following.
the thing is, I did that once, and my hair went green.
Well, that's why we've also made some full-on videos for our clients. For example, we did one on how to choose what colour and how to skin test, because you must skin test. Because again, if you regularly go to a salon, you probably had your skin test done long ago, and those skin tests are legally only viable for 6 months. So after 4 months lockdown, everyone's probably going to have to skin test again anyway.
Right.
So we did a great little video. I got to put on 10 different wigs to show people how the numbers work. And it's really helped them. It's really helped them.
You just enjoyed that, didn't you? You enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, we loved that bit too much.
Definitely. I mean, the reason I've got the green roots, we then did a live link-up session with clients, and we've actually had a few new ones as well where they've heard about it. So we all coloured our roots together. So I did my bright green so they could see it. It was great.
Oh, I see.
Really, really great.
And then we did a crazy colour event
I missed that one. I don't know how I missed that one.
Oh, bless. Well, it might be, because we are trying to do one post, one sort of video that's to help people, and then one live session sort of once a week we're doing with our clients, just to try and reassure them that we are coming back, we care for them, and not to worry, show them what we're doing to make sure they do come back, you know.
But you see, I've had questions from people who they said they phoned their hairdressers or tried to contact their hairdressers, and first of all, a lot of them haven't responded, so obviously they've been left a bit adrift. But also, if they have responded, they've been told in no way try to colour your own hair. It's going to interfere with the colour you've already got on your hair. It's going to interfere with what we're going to put on your hair when you come back to the salon. You know, what would you say to that?
I think a lot of that, at the very beginning, we all thought it was only going to be 3
for a couple of weeks.
Then it was going to be 6 weeks. And even us, we were mortally shocked last week when the date changed.
Yes.
We realised it was going to be 4 months. So I think some hairdressers at the beginning were saying, don't colour it, because mistakes can happen. Yeah. Like going green. So what we're saying to people as well is, if you are going to colour your hair, do not try and dramatically change the colour
of your hair.
If you want to have some fun, you can use lots of shampoos now and wash-offable colours.
A lot of crazy colours as well.
That won't affect the hair, you know.
What would you suggest for someone who has, I have 2 daughters who have highlights, who are kind of naturally mousy, but they have highlights. And so it's not, they haven't like got a whole head of...
at me,
And again, when we were doing our sort of colour lessons with our clients, because of course we can't see them, we've actually tried to advise people with highlights. For a start, we've tried to make it positive and say, well, you're growing a natural balayage. You could just tweak it, you know.
That's kind.
Again, it gives the hair a bit of a break. But, you know, for emergencies, for example, a great thing that everyone can do. You know, a lot of us are wearing our hair up a lot more because we're worried about not cutting it, we're worried about not doing a root. So actually just literally colouring around the hairline can give that little sun-kissed look. that enhanced sun-kissed look, you know.
So you could
The
actually
tie
sort of
has-
bleach,
Mine
sort of
today.
bleach just around the hairline. Okay.
Yeah. And again, we did a video with our clients where I showed them just taking a little bit out, putting some conditioner on the rest so it doesn't actually affect that hair, and just neatly painting it around the hairline. Because then when the hair's up, it looks completely blonde.
Yes.
But if they have a few bits down, it gives it that kind of sun-kissed.
Well, and it
feature.
frames that as well, so it looks like
Frames the face
they've had a balayage done.
Oh, I'm
What
going
if-
to.
What
I
about
think
the
it's
little
almost-
mascara
It's almost
thing?
like having this done when you just colour around the hairline. It
Yeah.
just brightens the whole face.
Yeah, the hair mascaras work very well. If people
Yeah.
are a bit nervous about doing their own highlights, as long as they get the colour that matches their hair
Yeah.
colour, they can
Mm.
literally just go over the roots like that and so on.
Yeah.
So literally, it is just painting where you can see the highlights.
Yeah.
We
I
went,
must admit, I think the set of highlights is the most difficult thing
Yeah.
to do
to
yourself.
do yourself at home.
Yeah.
I've kind of giggled with clients, said, you know, even us hairdressers, we've been doing it 35 years. And even we make the odd mistake, but we try and do our own.
Yes,
You know?
Yeah.
It's very
Don't
difficult.
believe
that's what I would be. I think that's what we would be concerned of with someone doing their own highlights at home, trying to do it with foil.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
The thing is, I do know people that have already said to me that they've started using these cap highlight kits, but even I'm a bit reluctant with that because I just think, you know, it could cause more damage, to be quite honest, really. So I'd say just go gentle.
And
you know?
again, if you're putting a colour on all of your hair, it's a lot kinder. If you are trying to lift it 3 or 4 shades to do a highlight,
Yeah.
it's a lot more of an aggressive product
Yeah.
naturally anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even a bit of lemon juice in the garden with a gin and tonic.
Oh, do you remember that product, Sunning?
Oh, sunny.
Oh, I
Yes,
used to have that.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's awful.
Well, I would definitely recommend natural lemon juice rather than
Than
one of those
Sun-In.
products.
I
Is your
got
hair logo orange?
I got that off Barbara Streisand. When I did Barbara Streisand, she taught me about lemons on your elbows and your knees, and you put it on. Everybody's got their lemons in the garden, of course.
Yeah.
On your
No, that's great. That's a great tip. I'm going to try that. I haven't tried that.
elbows and knees.
I've seen some great where people are having fun at home. I've seen some great cleaning tricks with lemons as well in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You can do anything, I think, with lemons and bicarb.
and if you've watched last week's episode, you can do lots of things with steam cleaners as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh,
Okay, we'll have a look.
I know.
For a whole different program.
Can I just ask you about short hair and cutting short hair? I mean, I don't think I'm 6 weeks in. I think I'm probably 10 weeks in, actually.
Wow.
But how? So, for example, this.
Yeah, yeah,
It's, you know, what do you do? Because I don't want it to be like a pudding basin.
exactly. And I think, as I say, where your hair, it must have been really quite short when it was 10 weeks ago. So you've done really, really well to get it this far. And again, with a lot of my clients who are in your situation, I've kind of said to them, again, we showed them, and I'll show you briefly how to trim and shape just a little bit at the front. And again, said actually, and by the time we get back, it'll give me so much to play with, and you can have a whole new look.
But the key thing is not to cut
Straight
hard lines.
Yeah.
Or keep everything nice and soft and cut it at an angle because your fringe goes over this way. Yeah, you have to kind of like pull it over the opposite direction.
There's a bit of that because it covers up my wrinkles. But of course, I can't have it doing a bit of that because
bless you. Well,
Well, just keep it soft.
I'll show you exactly with it what we mean. I, again, for my clients, actually bought 3 different clip-in fringes. So I could show them the very soft to the side. I showed them the kind of boho one. And for the people, because some people are so pedantic about their fringes, it is the thing that frames their face.
Yes.
So it can make people feel very insecure if they have been stuck with this one shape for a very long time. So we showed them a couple of little things, like Tony said, never cut across the hair because you'll make a straight mark, and as soon as you move, it will look like a chunk.
Yes.
So even if you want a straight fringe, keep the scissors going this way into it. Much
It's very
softer.
soft.
And that way you're gradually chipping away little bits rather than cutting off a chunk and thinking, oops, because you can't stick it back on, you know.
You're better going gentle
little
first
is more.
and then building it up. So if you want to cut more shape into it with anything, you're better just to start off gentle by slowly point cutting into the hair, holding your comb out, pointing into the ends of the hair, looking at it in the mirror, and then carrying on. But the key thing is to go very gentle with doing it yourself, because you're not a hairdresser, you know what I mean?
And don't do it all in one session.
No.
Wait a few days and then do a little
Gradual.
Yes. But what about the back? Because a lot of people have got short hair. They've said to me they've cut it with the fronts. That's okay. And I know there's some people said they've let their husbands have a go or partners have a go. Others have said they're on their own, so they can't. And others said there's no way they'd let their husband loose near their head with a pencil.
I've kind of recommended the same with my clients. Don't let your husbands do it.
Yeah.
We have had some fun the other way, because again, men are they like their appointments very regularly, same time every 3 weeks normally. So, and again, it can really bring some insecure issues up not having their hair done. So we have shown a few ladies how to use clippers and do their man's hair. But for my ladies, again, I've just encouraged them, play with the front, don't really play with the back. If anything, try and wear the back a bit more
costly.
Yeah, a bit of this.
Towel dry as well, rather than hair dry, because you'll get a lot more oomph into the hair.
A lot more texture.
That way. And then we try to encourage them to actually have a little bit of fun with a temporary colour rather than cutting the hair, and that'll keep you going.
Can I ask you about temporary colour? My daughters would have an apoplectic fit if they thought I was thinking of doing this. But this is my colour. And
your natural colour is beautiful and really easy to enhance.
Yeah, I mean, I have got a couple of sprays that have that put in like a tiny bit of purple, but then I look like I've got a purple rinse. Like
no. Well, what you can do, we've recommended again to our ladies, because it would actually work the same thing on all three of your hair, and again, really help to grow those highlights out. Well, there are kind of 2-3 avenues you can take. There are now shampoos and
that have got toners in them.
That have got toners and hints of pigment in. There's a couple of great brands. I can suggest one, say Bleach of London.
Yeah.
And they do a myriad, literally every soft hue of pink right the way to vibrant pink. Every light purple all the way to dark purple. Peaches and golds would work great, say, on Ceri's hair. The very pale pinks would look fantastic on both of yours. So we've said to people, wash your hair in them.
I don't think I'm ready to go pink yet.
I'm already.
I've already tried green and it didn't work.
My sister's a nurse, and she's kind of sort of goldy blonde. And again, her roots should come through a fair amount. And I said to her, I'm going to say something, but you'll be terrified. And I said to her, what about coral? Somewhere between coppery and pink. And she did panic. And then the next day she said to me, I found by that company one called Awkward Peach. And I went, oh, that's a great name. I love it. But again, the first time, when you look at it in the bottle, like a blonde toning shampoo, they look terrifying.
Yes, because they're just pure pigments.
Full of pigment. They look like a side of Tony's. You know?
What's that called?
Are you sort of the colour card then? Do we look at your head and pick one?
I'm basically his guinea pig.
Again, actually, our clients.
Oh my God.
where we're trying to keep involved with our clients.
Are you too bored?
Where we're trying to keep involved with them, that our clients actually voted for. We bleached Tony's hair so that we could do a talk about the crazy colour shampoos, and then we asked them to vote what colour they wanted. And of course, where everyone's supporting the NHS, and they said rainbow. So of course, I thought, well, let's go leopard print and a rainbow.
Just ask you about this bleach while I've got you here. So when I go on the Bleach website, how long will it last? Is it?
Well, you can. That's why I would say that there's 3 levels. There's the shampoos and conditioners with colour in.
Then there's the toners.
Then there's the toners. And then there is actual crazy colour. But all of these are non-chemical. So they won't damage the hair. They won't lift or permanently colour the hair.
And they're just purely conditioning.
The shampoo ones, if you shampoo it and wash it off as normal, you'll just get a tiny little glaze in the light. If you really like it, you can then leave it on for 5 minutes, see if you like it more. And all of those shampoos in those colours then do the next level of the semi-permanent.
Which is the toner.
And again, if you want to dull that down, you can mix it in with conditioner. So you can actually create anything with them then, and you can mix your own. Some of our ladies now, where they wash off in 2 to 3 weeks, they're getting really brave each time they do it now because they know it's going to go down. And actually, it's a bit of fun. It's like wearing makeup for your hair. It's not
basically it is. It's just pure stay.
What was the name of this again?
Well, there's one called Bleach of London, and they do lots of different shampoos and conditioner.
Okay.
Crazy Colour by Rainbow is non-chemical and just pure pigment. And again, they have about 40 shades that you can pick from. Fantastic.
Right.
And they are all retail. They're not sort of professional only products.
You can buy them online, and you can buy them through Boots and Superdrug and so on.
And for some people, if you are having any contact with your hairdresser, they will guide you and help you. I think a lot of them, as I say, their opinion has changed now that it's 4 months, you know.
Yeah,
some hairdressers, we all have different opinions. And that's why I think the non-chemical, you can really play and have fun with that. If you really are struggling, like you said, the lady with really one colour ends and completely different colour roots, of course you're going to have to colour it. So I think it's fair to guide people. It's like when people move to another country, we always try and give them numbers because
it's recommendation
colouring code as well. So all the numbers on the boxes that you see in the retail stores are the same to the numbers in the hairdresser.
It's funny you should say that, because that's when my hair went green. When I was in Corfu and I had it done there, and I don't know what the hell they did, but it was one of those that looked fine in the salon, and then
oh bless you.
Night,
and again, sometimes
your hair's green.
Well, sometimes, you know, that I've seen it obviously in the past. The standard rule of when it can go green unwanted is when someone's trying to go from blonde, say their highlights, and put a brown colour over the hair, and there's no
brown low lights in it,
and there's no colour in between. When a hairdresser professionally takes someone from blonde back to brown, they'll do something called a pre-pigment and actually turn it either gold, copper or red, and then turn it to the level of brown that the client wants to be. So it is quite difficult.
What's out here is your knowledge of colour, and obviously, judging by, you know, I mean, that is a real skill, though, isn't it?
Oh, bless.
Thank you.
It is, because a lot of
as
people
hairdressers, we've always been obsessed with colour, and as I say, I think colour is even more important than haircut.
You come and see us.
You know, you can do so much with colour. You really can.
It's really important.
It's fascinating. It really is. But I do think also, you know, colour's becoming. This is a perfect time, isn't it? You know, I'm kind of wishing I'd done it a bit earlier on now.
Oh, you've got plenty of time, gorgeous. I mean, you rock, all of you. Look at the three of you. You all rock. Bit less washing the hair, bit more texture, and just have a little fun with the shampoo.
Crazy colour.
Well, you know, I've rearranged Zoom calls because I think I don't really want to wash my hair today. Can we switch this to a phone call? The only reason I'm washing my hair is to do a Zoom call and not look like sort of I've just come out of the attic.
I think the whole world has moved slightly forward in that. I mean, everything you've seen on TV and the reality of actual real reality rather than all this stage reality.
Yeah, people are being true to themselves.
And actually, you know, crafting's coming back. It's not the age of celebrity. It's the age of experts again.
Yes, definitely.
And look at Paul Boris when he gave his speech. Look, you know, the first thing people noticed when he came out of hospital, bless him,
his hair.
Was his hair. People were saying to Dylan, the dog cut it. I mean,
I'm really enjoying some of the, particularly say the news presenters on the BBC. The men's hair is getting thicker and thicker. I quite like it.
It's getting scruffier. And I think was that a lot of them are down their own hair. They are down their own hair. They can't be just like letting the roots come through. Like I was watching one of them the other day and I thought, oh, your roots look nice and fresh. Like I wonder how you done that. Did you do that yourself? And that's what I thought.
You're looking at that. I'm looking at them. They don't have any makeup artists now, and it's quite.
They're having to do their own makeup.
It is. Yeah. It's been quite enlightening all round. I think you have to think of it.
They need us, guys. They need us.
Yeah.
We're key workers.
You are key workers.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people there has again been campaigns saying that, you know, it is people's well-being is so important now.
Yeah,
it is. It really is. Your hair and the confidence that it gives you, you know, it's makeup, clothes, you know, all of these things are really, especially as we get older, because you know you start getting that grey and you just think, oh God, is that it? So you really, it's all of this is so important.
Thank you.
Did you see that when we Fleabag? Sorry, Ceri. Did you see that thing on Fleabag? When,
hair is everything.
You know, but, you know, it's all about the hair, you know. But hair is life. You know,
it is.
It really
that
is.
It's one of the best hairdressing funny scenes I think for years. Very, very.
Oh, I loved it so much. It made me laugh so much.
I'm out of this one.
I must say, well, the poor young lady event essentially starts with hair this long and ends up with a very avant-garde, sharp, chic haircut. That is quite soul destroying for her.
Yeah, but it's exactly what she's asked for.
There's a whole scenario where the salon and the sister go back to the salon to complain, and the hairdresser ends up saying, "Can you get me the bin?" and lifts out the picture, which is identical to the haircut.
Well, back in the day with the Princess Diana haircut, everybody was doing that, weren't they? And there's always this style thing going on, but this doesn't seem to be that now. You know,
I think everyone's just flowing in and out of each other's like style. I think you'll always find that senior of the winter, you'll have a bob. There's a lot of long hair around, and everyone likes a sharp haircut. But the thing is, this is the reason why this has affected so many people, because they've got used to seeing their hairdressers, you know what I mean?
Thank goodness for freedom of individuality again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I do think, I agree that, you know, years ago in the past, you'd know that what was on trend here now would be on trend there 2 years' time, or on trend there 6 months later. And actually, you know, again, with the internet, maybe some of that has helped it all become a lot more open for everyone.
Yeah, I think people are more willing to experiment now with their hair, you know what I mean? Especially now at this time, because they're never going to get this time back, you know, while they are at home.
And it is going to be a new world. It is going to be a new world.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But when we come into, but what's going to happen though, when we come into this new world, and I know we've touched on this in previous episodes as well, when we can actually go out and come into a salon like yours, what are salons going to do so we feel safe about doing it? Because I think we're all a bit apprehensive.
I think that's totally natural. I mean, we've, for example, have been reading every recommendation from every governing body, every product body. And for us, for example, again, we are really trying to show our clients, both on social media and by putting constant huge posters in the window. For example, we are all going to have to be wearing PPE.
Yes.
So we're trying to rock the PPE. You know, we've got, for example, we've said to every client we're speaking to, we've said to them, yes, in the new world, we are going to need PPE. So we, for example, with the salon, have shown them how we've taken out chairs. We've gone interesting with the partitioning, because we haven't been told that's law yet, but we've gone partitioning all that slides and folds over. So I feel like I'm in a Rihanna video.
It looks very stylish. It looks like
you wish.
And then with the PPE, we've said to them, you know, we will, of course, we've been buying the standard ones for everyone, but we're trying to rock it already around.
I knew you'd do this. I knew.
So we've made them for our clients. They're all above standard. They're all washable. We can sell them to them and give them to them, and even the visors. You know, hence with our hair, I'm already walking through the town wearing them and making people notice that this is what we are doing. And again, I feel like a disco diva in it, you know. Showing people.
Jason, will you wear both though? Will you wear the visor and the mask?
We will.
Okay.
We won't expect the clients. We'll expect the clients to wear a face covering, which is why we want to have them for them so that they feel comfortable.
And also as well, for clients' peace of mind, like we said, there's so many rules that we'll have to adhere to, which is like every surface will be cleaned after every client. After their hair's been washed, every basin will be cleaned, every doorknob will be cleaned. We won't be allowed to give out drinks at the salon anymore.
Say that.
We won't be allowed to give out magazines anymore at the salon. But there's all these standard practices that all the companies have said the same, and every salon have to adhere to. But
I do agree with you. I think salons need to be showing their clients and
that
their
they're actually
whole
doing
area what they are doing.
Yeah.
The more they can do it, the more confident you will feel.
The thing is that by not like I'm not saying it because we have done it. And what I'm saying is that by not informing your clients, you're actually putting your clients off. That it gives the impression that you don't really care. You know what I mean? So we say keep your clients informed is key to all of this. So and everyone stays happy and healthy.
We'd even, you know, before this even the lockdown happened, we had already changed our salon unbelievably. 2 weeks before lockdown happened, we'd already changed all of our staff schedules so that we only had 2 stylists working a day. Yeah. Because a busy stylist can have 2 or 3 clients in a queuing system. So we had to adapt the way the appointments are booked and publicise the way the shifts have changed. And that'll be the same for coming back for everyone.
Yeah, it won't change for a long while. It won't
salon easier for clients. We're actually going to be now open. We were open 7 days, 6 days before. Now we're going to be open 7 days. We're explaining to the clients that we're actually doing the longer hours and the less days so that we can keep all of their favourite stylists doing their hair. But it's, I think, a lot of planning, and thank goodness we have got the time to do it. Yeah. You know, and we're doing posters, and again, we'll be making videos showing, we'll show the clients what it'll be like arriving. So we've had posters for outside. We're now going to ask clients to wait outside. We've got a covered area in front of the shop so they can wait so that we can maintain the numbers correctly in
and the
salon.
Space and the 2 meters in between each client, which is key. Because that's the other thing. The hairdresser will be contacting, will actually physically like be touching the client's head, you know? Yeah. So the thing is, they want to feel safe within that hairdresser, but they don't want to be too close to anyone else.
And we're going to show them how, say, if you were coming in for a haircut, what will be special so that they understand from the gowning up to the masking to the washing of the hair with gloves, to show the client when the client leaves, that whole section, that whole chair, everything will be wiped down. And again, luckily for our staff, we had started doing that before lockdown. We thought, well, you know, the advice was door handles. So we've had all of the doors wedged open, and every hour, each one of us would go around and wash every handle, as well as the arms on the chairs at the back wash. You know, this is the things we're going to have to do.
What will you do about gowns, about gowning people?
Well, again, most salons always used to wash their gowns at the end of the day. So again, we've got straight on and started ordering gowns 10 weeks ago. So instead of having, I think we had around 25 gowns. And actually in our salon, we previously had 3, 4, 5, 6 chairs. So we had already trebled the amount of gowns. So we now have 75 gowns. So they are literally going into a washing machine at a 60-degree wash
every single time.
Every time.
That's a lot of work.
That's the way it's going to be. You know, when it becomes a routine.
Thing is,
we're
do you know what?
Fun
because
so people understand
because it becomes part of your routine, you just say it anyway. You do it without even realising. And that's what happened before we actually went into lockdown.
That's where
we were getting into that routine.
We were blessed with our staff because they did straight away. We were on it. You know, most hairdressers, to be honest, most makeup artists, etc., we all have a relative amount of OCDs with health and hygiene.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're so aware of it.
I've always been massively OCD.
Yeah. I think it is part of the profession.
Yeah, because you have to keep your tools clean, you have to keep your equipment clean.
And again, before lockdown, we were even trying to play that positivity with our clients and say to them, I'm quite glad that the rest of the world's catching up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's spinning it on its head.
You've got to make a yin and yang out of it all.
Good makeup artists, good hairdressers. That's always, you know, you've got to be organised. You've got to be nurtured about what you're doing. You can always tell a bad makeup artist by tools. Because
they don't look after it.
So I think, as you say, for most professional people, it's a slight heightening of what they were previously doing, and maybe more frequency, as you say, rather than at the end of the day, it's every hour and every time.
But it's a scary thing for every business at the minute. I mean, with
Absolutely.
making had it done. Thankfully, I'm just about to launch quite a big thing online.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to concentrate on that. But I can't do somebody's makeup with a mask on.
Yeah.
And I can do it with my mask on, but you know.
Exactly.
You're still touching their face and so on, yeah.
And I think it's a learning curve for everyone. It really is.
I think so.
And the more we can prepare, it's better to be over prepared than under prepared.
Yes.
We want to be open, probably at the midnight, like some of the others we're seeing around the world.
So what about scissors and brushes?
Again, most salons always use something, but there are lots of different chemical ways to hygiene. And the most popular one, I would say, is hairdressers. Yeah, it's something called barbicide. And it comes in a jar, and it sterilizes everything. It's like Domestos, but with sun care. And again, most hairdressers would normally clean their combs at the end of the day, probably. They would probably have had 3 or 4 before. We, for example, had 2 jars in the salon, and the combs were constantly rotated round. We've now been waiting, but we're waiting to up it to 5 jars. Luckily, we already have enough of the actual barbicide. But again, I think that will become part of showing a client the care that you do, and that's why they.
The other thing as well is that each stylist will be responsible for their own equipment. So this is the other thing as well. Is that all the stylists that, and this is the way I would imagine every makeup artist, every hairdresser will be going from now on, is that every brush that they use will have to be sterilised straight after.
Absolutely.
Straight after.
So again, for us, I mean, we've had to invest in full sets for every member of staff. Because again, before you would have access to, I'm sure you must have seen the 8-10 brush blow dry, you know. So we've had to invest in that into our staff. And again, that's made them feel special. They feel like we've bought them this as a present. Absolutely. But it's also showing them it's your hygiene now. You have to wash it. Yeah.
And I just have $1 million question. So of course, when you open, everybody, you obviously have a lot of regular clients. So and even some new clients.
Well,
how are you going to handle sort of your booking system? Because everybody you have made feel so special in the past is going to be clamouring for like the first.
Well, again, we've done 2 or 3 different things for our clients and told them how we're doing it. That's why I find it quite alarming when, as you said earlier,
when people don't phone you.
We've heard from several people who've said, I've left messages from my hairdresser, I've had no contact, I haven't heard a thing. So again, we've tried constantly to keep rescheduling them.
Yes.
We've explained to everyone about those longer hours.
Yes.
And of course, when we changed it again till July the 5th, we are now fully booked because all the stylists to keep their salaries are doing extra hours on less days. So again, we are trying lots of different ways to meet that demand. For each client we've booked, we've also said we are running a stylist cancellation list each. So literally every cancellation you will be called if you can make it. And it's
but the other thing as well is that because everyone's in the same boat, they're also fully aware. They're also fully aware that when they ring up, and I was like, because we're now booking for, say, the beginning of August, they're now also aware that they have to wait for that appointment because they understand that we're trying to fit everyone in.
Exactly.
And they have been,
They've been brilliant.
We've been blessed, but I think that is keeping that contact up with
we have. Yeah.
And I think for anyone with, you know, a commercial on the high street business, these are the things we are going to have to do to come back and to come back successfully
and stronger,
and
as well.
And hopefully it will actually make everyone's client bases tighter, I think, long term.
And the other thing as well is that something which I was reading in all the criteria, is that as for consultations, they'll have to be done digitally through like you know, different platforms like this. But then also as well, they'll also and when they are doing a consultation, was that no one can walk into a salon anymore and just have their hair done. They have to book an appointment. So there is like this is not government said, but these are all the bodies within the hairdressing industry that have set out these rules. So there is going to be a tighter way of running it. So you can't just walk in and have your hair cut. Or you can't just like, well, can I have a consultation?
I actually think that's going to be a great improvement for a lot of people's business.
Yeah, well done.
You know, we're very, very lucky. We've had our high street 11 years, and this has helped us to actually focus and refocus to achieve the things we wanted to.
Yes.
But for some salons that were, say, newer or who hadn't had that background of clients, I think some of these new structures is going to be a way of attracting people to them.
Well, it's going to help them build their business.
Absolutely, and they'll build it stronger.
The whole beauty thing in Manchester, and obviously it was makeup side of it as well, but I don't know whether you've ever been to the ones, this one in Manchester was huge.
Yeah.
Hairdressing fraternity, if you like. I did notice on my walkabout, I was there to do a talk with some people, but I had a kind of walkabout. It's incredible what's going on in the hairdressing industry.
Oh God, yeah.
It's so
buy that, you know, and you know, you were saying about partitions. They were selling that. I think it was January that I went to that.
Exactly. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but the whole fashion industry is one of the most booming, the most productive, the most stimulating industries in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to develop to make this even better when we all come back. I really only see it as an improvement for the whole industry, actually.
That's also as well. I also think that in some ways we have went back to the old style of things, you know, because if you think about years ago, and I'm talking even before my time, whenever you go into, say, old style salons, they used to be partitioned. Everyone used to have their own private section and so on. They felt it was more special. It was more of a service.
Yeah.
Now we've sped on like so many years now, and everything's been at full pace. This has made everyone slow down.
Stand back.
And stand back and think about each other, which is a really good thing.
But so I think, sorry, let's carry on. What I was going to say is, talking to you guys today, and from the point of view of our followers and people that watch this, I think what's been lots and lots of it has been really helpful. I'm going to go pink now. And I want to be on that cancellation list for a cut. But what I think it's helped me, and I'm sure it will help everyone else, is that our followers and the people that watch kind of know what they should expect and know what really the gold standard of service that they should expect from the hairdresser going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And again, for one example, why we went for the system of partitioning we have, it's see-through and it's movable, so it can still be played with and people can still see each other and talk. Because as you say, we're not going to be allowed magazines, so it's going to be communication again.
People are going to talk to each other a lot more.
Yeah.
I think that's
the same way you're going on your holidays and then take it straight back.
Right.
I'm going to my front door today.
It should almost be like a checklist. So if you're booking an appointment with a hairdresser, you have your gold standard list that you said say you're the gold standard. when you're booking a hair appointment, should somebody have a checklist in front of them and ask the salon, do you have this in play, and then make a decision of whether to visit based on that.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
If a client asks me those questions, I'd be overjoyed.
Can I just interrupt? I've got a sister who works in local government over in Northern Ireland, and she has said that hairdressers over there will have, like food standards, like from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Eventually, what they're doing over there is they'll be doing a 1 to 5 kind of like tick for hairdressers. The thing is, I think it's going to go on the cross section across. Say, well, I don't know about over there, but I know about over here. I would imagine it's going to be like, if you meet this criteria, if you do this, then you can come into that salon, and it'll be like from 1 to 5. It'll be a grading system.
That's the COVID certification.
Yeah, is that what they're gonna? Yeah.
Because there's a lot of rogue traders in the hairdressing industry.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, right now you've got people charging.
But I think it's been a very good thing that a lot of the boards and associations, well, all of the boards, associations, have all got right behind the good professional hairdresser. They are all saying, if hairdressers are caught doing things they shouldn't be, they'll be disowned and won't be allowed to be members of these committees and bodies anymore.
Yeah.
We have to stick to
You've seen that these guys are right the way through. They've been opening salons, cutting hair.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I just think it's so stupid because the rules were set in place. The rules were set in place to keep us all safe. Yeah. By doing that, you're just being completely selfish. I really do think that, but I also think it's not worth the fine. Like you.
Yeah, I was going to say, staying safe. What will you do to make sure that you've got clients who can keep you safe? So supposing, like I just a little cough.
That's the other thing as well.
How do you know your clients aren't going to, come in and think, well, I don't feel right, but I don't want to miss my appointment?
Yeah. Again, what we've done is say to the clients, we've tried to link it to the government's guidance as well, and say we totally, a lot of salons used to have 24, 48 hour periods of cancellation. We've totally adapted our cancellation policies and said, we totally understand. And luckily, where we have a cancellation list, we also know where the clients are coming from. So if it is a shorter amount of time, we will do our best to rebook you in. And again, as the salon owners, we've extended our hours out to support these emergency change rounds.
Yeah.
Life, you can't stop life.
But the thing is, was that one thing which I would imagine with all salons and all beauty therapists and so on, is that when they do put up a list of criteria that is officially from the government, probably one of the standards would be, if you feel like, if they hit all the boxes, say you've got a champ shirt, you've got a cough, blah blah blah. If they send out a checklist which will be official, I think people, because every hairdresser has to be relaxed about it. Yeah, if a hairdresser if a client says to a hairdresser, well, sorry, I can't make my appointment because I've got two of the symptoms. That's just the way it is,
and again, that is all part of keeping your business alive and your clientele
and supporting your clients as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's difficult though, isn't it, boys? Because when people, they can say anything like that, and the problem is that if you've got a 2-hour slot that's been allocated to Curry, and Curry said, I can't come at the final hour, you're standing around twiddling your thumbs for 2 hours thinking, well, I've got a list of 20 people.
Unfortunately, far better to be in that situation.
I would rather someone ring up and say they need to cancel.
Of them coming in.
Yeah.
And that's why all of these precautions.
That's really refreshing to hear you say that.
Well, and that's why all of the precautions and the steps that the salon owners are taking are all gearing towards that. Such as, again, making sure that the client is kept outside before they come in. Make it a slightly morally inviting area for them to wait.
Yes.
We've also actually put one of the partitions 2 feet in from the door itself. And that way, because that's where our reception desk was as well, that way our assistant can be behind the screen as close as that to the client coming in.
Brilliant.
Yes, you can come in now because the others are out. If you don't mind waiting 5 minutes. So with signage and all these precautions, that will help.
Brilliant.
And
Thank
again, the partitioning between the PPE, the chat. Oh, I'm afraid we can't have a magazine, but that's because we're going to chat instead, you know.
Yeah.
And that's whole part of being a good
That's
stylist.
brilliant. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of hard work there.
And well, I'm looking forward to seeing it in the middle of July when my appointment. I hope it's still going to be valid.
Again,
Fingers crossed.
well, luckily, Ceri, again, where you're already a follower, you'll be seeing some sneak peeks of the salon itself next week.
Hopefully arrive in pink hair as well, or whatever colour. Is it coral? Did you say might work? So
yeah, really cool.
Oh, Ceri, we're going to be new women.
I know we will be.
Well,
People won't recognise us, Maggie.
Ceri has our information, so if you want to join us on a live one, we'll guide you through it.
Going to do.
Oh, what we'll do is, because this show will go out on when the show goes out, we always tag people anyway, so your details will be there, so people can find your page on Facebook.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you much, Ceri. Thank you, all of
And
you.
a link to your website on my website as well. But I have to say, guys, thank you so much for taking the time and giving us the practical help to get us through until the channel is open, and then reassuring us about what we can expect, because it is worrying, isn't it?
It is worrying.
It is worrying, but it's been a great opportunity for us as well, and hopefully if it's helped any of your people to then ask the questions.
Yeah, you have to ask the questions, you have to.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And again, thank you, Maggie and Jo, as well, to put you through a bit of a grilling, didn't we? But it's been so helpful.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
It's been a joy to meet you, ladies, all of you.
And for all those watching, we hope you've enjoyed this. We hope you found it informative, and we look forward to having you join us next time. So from all of us, it's bye.
Bye-bye.
Keep safe.